You know what? I read on just a little bit. Let's continue on. This next part's great too. So, but some men will say, how are the dead raised up? And with what body do they come? Thou fool, that which thou sowest is not quickened except it die. And that which thou sowest not that body that shall be, but bear grain, it may chance of wheat or of some other grain. But God giveth it a body as it hath pleased him, and to every seed his own body. All flesh is not the same flesh. So it goes into this. There's one glory of the sun. So also is the resurrection of the dead. It is sown in corruption, it is raised in incorruption. Won't that be cool? It is sown in dishonor, it is raised in glory. It is sown in weakness, it is raised in power. It is sown a natural body, it is raised a spiritual body. Jesus walked through walls, or however you want to look at that, in a closed room. He appeared, then he ate some fish, and then he disappeared. That means when his body uptook, this is what gets me a little bit, is that fish was solid when it went in him, and then it disappears. That got energized up into him, and yeah. Now, I will say it's bodily. I mean, obviously, this whole thing's by touch my body for a ghost doesn't have it. We'll have a body, but he made that disappear. So it'll be spirit, the same as God is a spirit, because that's what we become is spirit. I mean, that's the whole thing is the spirit, and that's how we're one spirit, and they're all in us is because it's just one spirit. Jesus is the spirit, just as it says. So. But that spiritual body, there's some things that I definitely have questions about it. Obviously, I don't, we will know when we're there and whatnot, as it says. But I mean, just gleaming from these things, we know that it'll be our body. Our life as we know it is from our body, and that's going to be the case come then, as in Jesus's body was raised out of the grave, and people's bodies are going to come out of the grave. That's what the graves are open, and these bodies rise, and it won't be from blood that will be alive, or it will be the spirit. And when when the nation of Israel and all that's people coming back to life. People try to say, oh, that was in 1948 when, no. I mean, for me, maybe there's some double, I haven't looked that deeply into that, but what I can say is I think it's pretty clear that, when all the sinews are getting put back on the bones, we're looking at people coming out of the graves in the new Israel. That's the real Israel, the Israel that's within. It's not, it's the spirit. And that's, that Israel will be made, the flesh will come upon to him, that God's going to breathe into him his spirit, and that army is going to come back to life. I think that's what that's talking about. So I'll go and stop there.